all good.
Why isn't it giving me the go live thing on Facebook? Save changes. I just did that, you stupid. Okay, hang on.
Patience, grasshopper.
It did something weird.
Yeah, which is understandable.
Switch telling me it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
This is still not saying, even though I did all the things.
Was there any new updates that could have changed something?
Hang on. We'll be right back, guys. Software, or it was. Let's. Yeah, post there.
Mm-hmm.
Save changes. Okay, hang on. I need to check something.
Go for
Is it live and we just don't know it because it's being stupid? Is the question.
it.
Okay, I don't see it on there.
Nope.
You're getting video. I can see that.
Yeah, we're just not getting a live video.
It's not letting me hit the button to go live, and I don't know why.
Is this going through the event or is it just going through the?
You're supposed to be able to set up a live video through the event. This
Yes.
is what we've done in the past.
Yes.
I don't know what it's doing because it's not letting me. It wants me to add a title. I did that already. Facebook, quit moving your crap. I thought I did that. Hang on.
There we go.
There we go. I knew it was something stupid.
Yeah.
As
something,
always.
Something simple.
Okay.
All right.
Everything's live at the moment. Hey, Geek Devotions. How's it going?
What's up, guys?
Just fighting Facebook.
Like usual.
It's being a pain in the patootie. Did y'all get y'all's water issues cleaned up? Oh, I need to. While I'm waiting on that answer. Here.
Going live.
Oh, I mean, it's just making sure the media
Right.
board is live.
Yes.
And then I should be able to hear it. Yeah, house is snaked. About to make some Coke salad for tomorrow. This is a weird sentence.
yeah.
Coke. I've never heard of Coke salad, and I'm assuming by snake you mean you got the clog fixed.
Yeah. So what happened to their house?
They had some. Something was overflowing from the toilet.
Oh, okay. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look.
Which makes me sense that the clog was probably clogged.
Probably.
But anyway, is that saying what I think it's saying? Yes, it is. I missed a thing.
What'd you miss? Final Fantasy.
It was.
Got it.
I forgot to change the game I was playing.
No worries.
Apparently, Coke salad is the bomb. I will take your word for it, considering I've never heard of that.
Me either.
Coke salad sounds like you'd be mixing Coca-Cola and Dr. Pepper and all these other things, which we call a suicide drink around here.
Right.
Okay, everything is going. I just need to make sure I've got my notes up that I made for Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
There it goes. All right. I think I'm finally ready.
Yeah.
If I can only think of a pun for you. And there's a dog in this movie. You'd think it'd be simple.
You think it would. All right, guys. Hey, we're doing Ugly Dolls today as a review. If you didn't realize that by the title. So yeah, this is relatively available on most
places.
Most places, $3.99 and $3.99. I think it's $3.99 on YouTube.
I watched it on Amazon. It was about that price.
I watched it on YouTube.
Interesting movie.
Yes, it was interesting. Bit odd. There again, sorry for the delay. We were supposed to do this on Tuesday. Obviously,
but somebody had allergies.
Yeah, as you can hear. Yeah, my allergies were extremely bothering me, and I didn't want to get on air and my voice crack and I can't talk. So I just wanted to spare everybody the voice. I sound like this the entire time.
Oh, come on, that'd be an interesting episode.
That would be an interesting episode. Then I can talk for the rest of the week. You know, you sacrifice your voice for the entertainment of others.
Exactly. That's how this is supposed to work, isn't it?
Maybe. All right, guys. So yeah, if you watched Ugly Dolls, comment down below wherever you're viewing this on Facebook Live, Twitch, or YouTube. And if you haven't, you can. It's easily available. Be like some of you may have it on DVD or Blu-ray.
Maybe
go pop it in. I've heard from one of our listeners that she really enjoyed it. But other than that, it's been yeah. So we will get started with our review of Ugly Dolls very shortly.
I'm Geek Devotions. I'm assuming you're asking about Jacob's voice, not mine, because Jacob is the one who had the allergy issue. He can probably sing bass right now.
Rah, 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 rah.
Yeah. Correction, he can probably sound like he sings bass, but doesn't. But whatever.
Well, to quote our pastor, it's like, geez, Jacob, I didn't know you were tone deaf. He was joking when he said that.
Let's just say that in the Bible it does say to make a joyful noise unto the Lord, which noise is the apt word,
right?
In some instances. All right, are you ready to start this thing?
Yes.
Okay, make sure I'm lined up here. All right, starting in.
The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who's feeling just a little imperfect. Welcome, Jacob.
Well, aren't we all? Why, thank you. And here's our co-host, the man who's just trying to avoid being put in the shredder. Welcome, Drew.
There's only one type of toy that should be involved with the shredder, and those are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That is true. That is so
but
true.
Anyway, welcome once again to another episode of the Cellcast. As said earlier, we'll be reviewing Ugly Dolls this week. However, I made a mistake, even though we got delayed.
Whoops.
I never posted the trivia question.
Dun, dun, dun.
But I'll answer that trivia question later in the episode, so keep an
Excellent.
eye out for that.
All right.
But yeah, nobody got it because I didn't post it.
That makes sense.
So, Jacob, how are you doing today?
Man, well, one thing for the whole reason we delayed, because I had a sinus infection. Obviously, you can hear my voice. My voice is so kind of cracked. But overall, doing very well. Yeah, pretty good. Let's see. From our previous episode, let's go back to last Saturday. Me and my girlfriend Ashley, we went to Dallas to go see a Stars game. The hockey team, if you didn't know. When we saw them, great time. Most likely we're going to go see another game. We drove back from Dallas. And over the course of the week, I had a bad sinus cold, sinus infection, whatever. It's now under control. I hope and pray it does. And yesterday, recording this on Saturday.
Literally the day it's going to be posted.
Yeah,
this
literally
a fast turnaround.
Right. Yeah, me and Ashley went to a local town near us to go have some Italian food, and we played putt-putt. Really nice, and that relationship is running very smoothly, and I'm very grateful for it. So other than that, it's kind of been a horse day a little bit. But overall, it's been a great week, and thank you guys for your patience for the delay in this episode.
As if anyone outside of the live stream is going to know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying. Anyway.
Yeah. How are you been, Drew?
I've been all right. It's been busy. These long days are starting to get to me, but I think I'll be all right.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just, you know how it is getting ready for Easter. It's just busy.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
What have you been watching?
What have I been watching? I watched a little more of Kim Possible. The Disney Channel TV series came out in the early aughts of the 2000s, and it's really good. It's very dated for its time period, but it's still very good. Overall, I still need to watch episodes 2 and 3 of Moon Knight. I still need to watch those.
Yeah, you do.
You think with someone being sick and having a few more hours to go watch Moon Knight, you would do that, but it didn't.
And
it happens.
Sometimes you get distracted.
Exactly.
Like everyone else.
Wait, squirrel. So yeah, other than that, it's I picked up last night after the date with my girlfriend. I went and picked up Spider-Man No Way Home on Blu-ray. And I'm looking forward to watching that again. That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's basically it, except for a lot of YouTube. What about you?
You've been watching a lot of YouTube.
A lot of YouTube.
Okay, then. If you take away some of that YouTube and put it towards Disney Plus, you would have had time.
That is true.
But I'm just giving you a hard time because it's normal.
That is true.
But anyway, what have I been watching?
Yeah.
Well, I have watched both episodes of Moon Knight.
Yeah. How were they?
They are good. I'm enjoying that show.
Good.
Watched a little bit of Log Horizon at Chase's the other day.
Oh, okay.
And other than that, I've been watching a lot of season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That is interesting stuff to watch. It's not bad. It's cheesy. It's the Power Rangers you remember it to be, but it's still, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that. And other than that, I mean, okay, so I did stream most of patch 6.1 of Final Fantasy 14 Tuesday when we didn't record.
Exactly.
But none of y'all would know that because none of y'all came into the stream and watched. I know because I was the only one there.
It happens.
At least that's what it looked like. I could be wrong. No one talked to me. That's all I really know. But that game is getting better the more I play it, which is amazing after 5 years of playing the game. But other than that, that's pretty much been it.
Okay. Very cool.
What do we got in the news?
All right. Actually, a bit of news. So we're going to start off on a more sad note, earlier this week. Actually, we reviewed a movie more recently that this actor was in. And sad to note that one of the most recognized voices of animation entertainment in general, comedian Gilbert Gottfried, has passed away at the age of 67. The news share was by Gottfried's family on his his official Twitter on last Tuesday. It was written that he had been suffering from a long illness, according to his publisher. He suffered from type 2 melatonin muscle dystopia, I believe it's pronounced.
Dystrophy.
Thank you. So yeah, we lost the voice of Iago. So yeah, I mean, like, it's, there again, we didn't know a whole lot what he was going through beforehand, because a lot of people are private about what's going on. You take what is it, the actor who played T'Challa in
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, like most people didn't know he had cancer. So yeah, it's just one of those things. People keep things private, and they pass away, and it's like, what happened? So yeah, definitely prayers for the Godfrey family for the loss of a very classic comedian and voice actor. All right, so going into more happier news, Disney and Pixar's Turning Red debuts on all major digital platforms on April 26th, and on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and DVD on May 3rd, just in time for Mother's Day.
Boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Still haven't watched that movie.
No, I haven't. Yeah, we're going to review it at some point.
Yeah, we decided to skip the reactions since we didn't hit it right off the bat.
Exactly. So yeah, that will be coming out May 3rd. So if your mother is a huge Disney fan or Pixar fan, get the movie for her.
Well, and my understanding is it is dealing with the relationship between a daughter and a mother.
Exactly. So perfect timing.
Yeah.
Good point. We'll get around to reviewing that at some point. Unless you guys want us to review it quicker, then we can.
We haven't posted what our next set of movies is, so stuff can get moved around.
Things can be shifted. All right. So a trailer I saw a couple of days ago I was like, what in the world is this? And apparently it's a new movie coming out. Let me give you the synopsis. It's raining cats and dogs all over feudal Japan in this brand new trailer, Paws of Fury: The Legend of Hank.
Yes, I posted this. This is what was being called Blazing Samurai for a long time.
Yes, it was actually. Unleashed a few days ago on Paramount Pictures. The feature spot comes complete with the voice of Samuel L. Jackson. The underdog tale will arrive exclusively in theaters on July 15th. And to quote the marketing for the film, when a town of cats is in danger, an unlikely hero arises, a dog named Hank. And let me think. Okay, this is a movie that has been kind of in limbo with the closure of Blue Sky Studios. This was a project they were working on, and I think it was like they got probably like 60% of it done before Disney closed them down. So based on a comic book, Netflix dropped The Gauntlet today, declaring that an animated feature adaptation of Nimura in IMONA.
Let me see it.
Go for it.
Nimona?
Nimona. That's what I'm thinking. It's like, yeah, Nimona. We might be mispronouncing this, but either
Good
or.
chance of it till you
Is
actually
it?
hear someone say the thing.
Exactly. Is going ahead. It's the film is being produced by a partnership with Annapurna Pictures, people who bought
Annapurna?
Annapurna. Thank you, Annapurna.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, Annapurna. You're correct. People have Sausage Party and Missing Link. Yeah, exactly.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. With animation by DNAG. This movie is slated to be in 2023, and production began early this year. So yeah, looks like something that the remnant of Blue Sky Studios is moving forward.
That's good.
Exactly. So that's all we have more in the news.
You missed one thing.
What did I miss?
They announced Kingdom Hearts 4.
Oh yeah, that's right. Of course.
That's not really animation news, but it is
something
kind of a tradition on this channel, on this podcast to mention.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts stuff. I ought to be playing more of that on stream, but we just haven't done it. It's hard to get things scheduled between both of us, and I just hadn't gotten back to just playing it by myself.
That is so true.
But anywho, at some point, we may just have to. I may play through it on stream, but let you watch the rest of the videos and just be done with it. So you can get an idea of what's going on.
Agreed.
But we haven't made that full decision yet. But anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's all. That being all the news, we need to jump into the spoiler-free section of our review of Ugly Dolls.
Mm-hmm.
This was my first viewing. Came out in 2019, I think.
Yeah, 2019.
And I can tell you what I remembered from my thoughts at looking at the trailers back in the day, that my fears were confirmed.
Okay.
And that this is a little bit of a by the numbers movie.
It is.
In some ways.
It is very much.
It's not a bad movie. I have some issues with some terminology, but for the most part, I think it's an all right movie.
Yeah, kind of middle of the road.
Middle of the road, and this is not going to rate high on my list of things. I will say that there is some woke terminology used in this movie I do not agree with.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Kind of saying that for the Stunning and Brave group that might be listening, give y'all a warning.
Yeah.
But I'll get more into that when I get to, especially since there was no reason for them to use the woke terminology, but I'll get into that when we get into dislikes.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, it's an okay movie.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'd seen the trailers before, like Drew said, and this was 2019. I think this was before we were reviewing podcasts at that point.
That'd be a little hard since we started in January.
Yeah, we did start January that year.
So we were reviewing, but we hadn't started doing reactions.
That is true.
Because our first reaction was the live action Lion King
Lion
movie.
King. Oh yeah, that was interesting. I was like, okay, this looks a little odd. There again, I agree with Drew. It's very much a paint by numbers kind of film. It's to get butts and seats and eating, chomping down on popcorn to a very generic story.
Keep the 5-year-olds entertained.
Exactly. Generic, and it does have some political undertones. There's a lot of laziness in this film. And we'll get to that stuff in our dislikes later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like a middle of the road movie. It's worth a watch. I've heard people say, "Oh, I really love the film," and there's parts of the movie I enjoy, but at the same time, it's more like, "And this is very,
it's okay.
It's an okay film." I agree,
but it's very anyway. I'll get into that in a minute.
Exactly. All right, so yeah, that is our spoiler free review or
Yes.
section of.
And after the bumpers here, we will get into spoiling it.
All right, go for it.
Oh, hang on, I need to turn that back up. Don't forget that you can download. Don't forget that you can. Don't forget that you can listen to us record the podcast live every Tuesday over on our Facebook page, The Cellcast, our Twitch channel, The Cellcast Gaming, and on YouTube at Cellcast. Also, don't forget to join our Patreon if you would like to support us monetarily. At $1, you'll get our everlasting thanks. At our $5 tier, you can get some artwork from Jacob, and on our $10 tier, you can get bloopers for every episode we've released that I've remembered to release them for, and you can get commentaries from different movies. So come check us out over there if you would like to support us financially. Each week on Stunning and Brave, hosts Chris Cowan of the Babylon Bee and Nate Henderson of Some Boring Budgeting Job confess their privilege, spotlight stunning social media posts, and fabricate outrage, all while keeping you super woke and enlightened. They will make you laugh. That's right, you have no choice. Check out Stunning and Brave at stunningandbrave.net. Do you like Star Wars? I don't just mean the original trilogy. Along with that, I mean the prequels, the sequels, the anthologies, the animated shows, and of course, who doesn't like Baby Yoda? Well, if you've been in the fandom for any length of time, you know how toxic the fandom can get. And if you'd like to be able to discuss a galaxy far, far away in a much more positive light, might I suggest searching out The Outer Rim, a Facebook group dedicated to all of Star Wars, and check out their YouTube channel, which you can easily find at Pop Americana, which the podcast you're currently listening to is also a part of. To find that and more, check out the link in the description. All right. Well, chat has been relatively quiet since we went live
Right.
on all three.
That's
It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
I don't. It's people are probably traveling on their way to different places, which is fine.
That is true.
So yeah, we'll just go ahead and jump right into the full thing here. Yeah. All right. Deal it, please. If I can. I don't know why you're angry, Deal it. Oh, you triggered the wrong sound effect. My apologies. The following is a spoiler-filled review for the movie Ugly Dolls. Listener discretion is advised. Ugly Dolls was directed by Kelly Asbury, who also directed Shrek 2. It was also written by Alison Peck, Larry Stuckey, Erica Rivenoja, and Blaze Herningway, with original story by Robert Rodriguez, of all people.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's based on the characters created by David Horvath and Soon Min Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Getting into the cast, Kelly Clarkson is the voice of Moxie, who was the winner of the 2002 American Idol. Pitbull was the voice of Ugly Dog, and in the movie Epic, he played Bufo. I haven't seen the movie, so I have no idea who Bufo is. Ice-T was the voice of Peggy the Unicorn, or Pegacorn.
Pegacorn?
You know, the rooster Pegasus.
Yeah.
With a unicorn horn.
Really?
Yeah, Princess Ice-T. Moving on. He was Detective Odafin Tuduola in Law & Order SVU.
Yes.
Special Victims Unit. Blake Shelton was the voice of Ox, and he was Earl Pig in the Angry Birds movie, and he's a very big country music star, for those who don't know. Lee Horn Wang was the voice of Lucky Bat, and he was Shen Guanyo in something called Forever Young. This is one of his few American movies, by the way. Ugly Dolls is. He does a lot of stuff over in Asia. Wanda Sykes was the voice of Wage, and she is Sid's granny in the Ice Age movies.
Okay.
Gabriel Iglesias was the voice of Bobo, And he was Speedy Gonzalez in Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Emma Roberts was the voice of Wedgehead, and she was Claire in the movie Aquamarine. It was one of those mermaid movies from like 2010-ish era, I think. I remember seeing commercials for it. I never saw it. Jane Lynch was the voice of the scanner and the electronic female voice, and she's, of course, Calhoun in Wreck-It Ralph.
Mm-hmm.
Janelle Monáe was the voice of Mandy, and she played Dr. Monet in Rio 2. Bibi Reha was the voice of Tuesday, and she was on the soundtrack for Abominable. By the way, Baby Reha, Tuesday, Willow, and one other person in here. They were the three Spy Girls.
Okay.
I think it was Kitty. Mandy, Tuesday, and Kitty. That's who it was.
Oh.
And then Charlie XCX was the voice of Kitty, and she was Willow in the Angry Birds movie.
Sure.
Lizzo was the voice of Lydia, and in something coming up called Yeti Yeti, she is the voice of Magic Mushroom. Not much else to choose from on her.
Okay.
And last but not least, Nick Jonas was the voice of Lou, and he was Alex in Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah. Not a bad movie.
No.
It was decent. It was pretty good.
I didn't look up Kingdom Hearts connections, so we're just going to move on.
Okay. All right.
Info and stuff?
Yes, info and stuff.
Thought you would have caught it, but whatever.
Oh, no.
We are out of it today, folks. I
Yes,
apologize.
We're like sinuses and just it's a Saturday.
It's a
recording.
weird day.
It's a weird day. Let's say that. All right. So moving forward. All right. So info and stuff. You can watch it on YouTube for $2.99 or $3.99, or on most streaming platforms. Not you know what I mean. IMDb it has a 5 out of 10. Production was STX Family, Real FX Animation Studios, Alibaba. Thank you. I'm terrible pronouncing names. Alibaba Pictures, Original Force, Troublemaker Studios. It was distributed by STX Entertainment. Release date for in the US was May 3rd, 2019. Its estimated budget, and this was prepare for this one. Had an estimated budget of $45 million.
Mm-hmm.
Its opening weekend, that's just not good. On May 5th was $8.6 million.
Ooh.
Yeah. So its US and Canada gross combined was 20.1 million. And its worldwide gross was a little better, was $32.4 million. That's not including promotional ads, and this was all over the map. So it failed miserably. All right, so home release. Ugly Dolls was released on HD digital on July 16th, 2019, and on Blu-ray and DVD on July 30th, 2019. A sequel. There are rumors to be rumors. There is a second movie coming out in this year. There is no confirmed. And why would they bother? This movie failed beyond belief.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense monetarily.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It'd be one thing if it was just a so-so movie, but it made money, like some others that we've seen.
Yeah.
But this doesn't seem like this lost money. Why would people be investing in another one?
I would the only logical way I can think them trying to profit from this movie in any fashion or form is maybe do an animated series on Netflix or something like that.
That I could see something that's got a lot less, doesn't take as much money to pull off, and you could introduce these characters better, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So, stretch your story out a little bit more. So yeah, I think it would probably be the best way if they ever were to do something with this, movie. Because obviously if they are doing a sequel, okay, you're setting yourself for failure because the first one failed beyond belief.
Yeah.
So we don't know if there's a sequel. People speculate all the time and put out false news all over the place. So it's trying to find the source to all the rumor. As of right now, there is no sequel, but there is a ton of information out there saying there is. So that is all I have for info and stuff.
All right, getting into the summary. In a hidden universe within a toy factory, deformed dolls, or uglies, or ugly dolls, are dropped into a tunnel leading to the secluded town of Uglyville. Among these dolls is Moxie, who dreams of the big world and being loved by a child, despite Uglyville's mayor, Ox, assuring her that this concept is a myth. One day, Moxie enters the tunnel to find her way to the big world, followed by the town's cynical chef Wage, easygoing Ugly Dog, shy Wiseman Lucky Bat, and soft-hearted giant Bobo. The Ugly Dolls discover the Institute of Perfection, where perfect dolls, or pretties, are rigorously trained. The vain and superficial leader of the Institute, Lou, tells Moxie and her friends that they cannot hope to pass the training for the Gauntlet, an obstacle course based on a human house, which determines if a doll will be allowed to use the portal to the big world. Faced with Moxie's positivity, Lou relents and lets them train. However, he sends the 3 spy girls to find out where Moxie's group came from. The Ugly Dolls' first days of training ended in disaster. Mandy, one of the pretties, sympathizes with them as she has poor eyesight but can't wear glasses for fear of being labeled ugly and put in the dreaded recycling center. She gives them some pointers and helps them dress the part of a perfect doll. Spy girls return with a kidnapped Ox, and Lou makes him admit to Moxie he actually knew about the big world, as he had once trained with Lou for the Gauntlet and nearly passed. However, the pretties turned to Ox and Lou and sent him down the tunnel, claiming he thought it led to safety. Ox found the recycling center there, and seeing other dolls like himself being shredded up, he rerouted the tunnel and founded Uglyville at the other end. Demoralized by the realization that they are factory rejects, the entire town of Uglyville falls into despair, and Moxie resigns herself to her fate. Mandy visits and encourages Moxie to keep her faith, as it has given all the imperfect pretties hope that they might succeed. Moxie and Mandy try to return to the Gauntlet, but are waylaid by Lou, who has unblocked the recycling center. He leaves Mandy and Moxie to be shredded, but Ox learns what has happened and rallies the Ugly Dolls to rescue the pair. The entire population of Uglyville arrives at the Institute on the day of the Gauntlet. Moxie, Mandy, and several Uglies demand to be allowed to participate. Lou announces he and several others will run with them, secretly planning to sabotage the Uglies' chances. However, once in the Gauntlet, Lou shows his true colors as a coward, abandoning his comrades and leaving them to be saved by the Uglies. Lou loses everyone's respect completely when he kicks a robot baby, making it cry. Moxie comforts the baby instead by finishing the course, prompting all but Lou to do the same. Instead of finishing the course, sorry. The system automatically passes them since the doll's true purpose is to make a child happy. However, Lou, is failed despite finishing the course and is forced to admit he is only a prototype and forbidden to leave the factory. When he saw Ox nearly pass the training, he couldn't bear to see an Ugly go to the human world where he, supposedly perfection itself, could not. He sabotaged Ox so he'd hopefully be killed in the recycling center. Seeing everyone is turned on him, Lou smashes the portal to the human world out of spite. The pretties capture and put Lou in a washing machine as punishment, but the portal is irrevocably destroyed. The Uglies and pretties work together to build a new permanent open portal that does not require any training to pass back and forth through. They combine their towns into the City of Imperfection, still led by Mayor Ox. Moxie finally passes through the portal and is placed in the arms of her perfect child, Maisie, who has the same missing tooth that Moxie does. During the credits, it is shown that several Uglies and pretties have found their perfect human, while a bedraggled Lou has been demoted to janitorial duty. Jacob, what's your first like for this movie?
My first like would actually be the.
I didn't go into the trivia. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So the trivia question I would have asked if I had thought to post this
Go for it.
was that what movies did Ugly Dolls make cameos in before their own movie came out?
Yeah, I heard about those.
Yeah. One was Zathura, a space adventure, which is kind of a knockoff of Jumanji.
Yeah.
Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium, which was the last movie with Heath Ledger in it, I think.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And Enchanted in 2007 had it, and the Smurfs in 2011 had them.
Huh.
Interestingly enough.
Yes.
STX Entertainment's first film for their family and animation division, although it's the second movie they released. This is the last movie to be directed by Kelly Ashbury before his death in June 2020.
Yep.
And during the gauntlet, when you see dolls drive over the stairs in the bulldozer, you can see Ox and Moxie holding hands, just like Thelma and Louise did when they drove off the cliff.
Exactly.
Now, Jacob, what is your first like?
My first like would be it's the when it comes to the characters of the ugly dolls or the reject dolls or the imperfect dolls, that the design they go with, it's more just like a just a simple shape. If it's round, it's rectangular, whatever. Be like the designs of these characters are very well done. I don't really see them as really ugly. They're not really ugly designed characters.
More on that thought when we get to
Yeah,
dislikes.
But along the lines, be like these are very well designed creatures. They're very well designed, and I aesthetically pleasing designs. So that's my first like.
My first like is Gabriel Iglesias acting as Bobo, because you can't really tell he's Gabriel Iglesias.
No, you can't.
I didn't know it until I was looking at the cast list and go, oh, that was him. He actually did a good job in this movie for playing a character with no characterization in the script, from what I can tell.
That is true.
But he did a good job with this, I thought. So yeah, that's my first like.
Right. So my second like would definitely the revelation that Lou is the main villain of our movie. He, like his true backstory would be he's a prototype, and I thought that was a very interesting idea. It's like, oh, okay, like, wow, couldn't we let in with more of that? But I thought
he's the sample that all the others are supposed to be built towards.
Yeah, exactly.
So and quality control will know which ones are good and which ones are bad.
Exactly. So just in general, be like his backstory was very interesting with it's like, oh my gosh, he's a prototype. He's a prototype. He can't leave this area because he's like Drew said, like he's the model in which all the other dolls are designed after. And I thought it was a very interesting idea but it's like, oh, he's the prototype. That's why he can't leave. That's why he tried to sabotage the other dolls. And that's why he does all these things. So it makes his backstory a little more filled out a little bit. All right. So what's your second?
I thought the fabric simulation in this movie was done very well. It was nearly all the characters are made out of a fabric, and the pretties' bodies are obviously supposed to be vinyl type figure.
Right.
But even the fabric that's used on their clothes is animated, I thought, very well. So, and you could actually see like the seams and the little bits of fuzz, each of the way the threads moved around each other. I thought that did a very good job of doing that.
Right. I agree.
So yeah, that's my second like. What's your third?
Third.
We're going through this very fast.
We are burning through this fast. My third like would be the intro to this film. Be like the intro I thought was very well done. Because it gives you more of this dark, gritty, like introduction to our characters and like what's going on in the factory. It's like all the figures that are misshapen or something like that are rejected, and they get them thrown into Uglyville. And I thought it was a very interesting because the way it's lit, the way it's set up, and I was like, man, this is gonna be a really interesting film. Boy, was I wrong. Just go, like that first few minutes in the factory, it's like, okay, this is interesting how you're setting up with the credits and the whole bit. I was like, man, this is gonna be a really good film. And we'll get into that or dislikes later on in a few minutes. Yeah, but just the intro to Uglyville, to the plant, to a lot of the setup was pretty good. I thought the setup was pretty good. So yeah, it was more the intro and the setup of where things are dynamically juxtaposition between Uglyville and perfection. That was interesting. So that's my third like.
My third like is the animation and lighting in this movie.
Absolutely.
This is not an area where they skimped on. Everything actually does look and feel like it's toys moving around, almost in a way more than even Toy Story was able to pull off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I maybe it's just because we're dealing with different types of toys than what Toy Story primarily was using. But even though these are supposed to be quote unquote alive beings, they do still feel like toys. The lighting throughout most of the thing, especially on the scene where they go to the shredder, I thought was done very well. It's animated good. The animation is not the problem with this movie.
Yeah, agreed.
Except for maybe some of what the story required them to make. I have some issues there when we get there. So yeah, that's my third like.
All right, good deal.
Do you mind if I just jump into
Yeah,
my first
well,
dislike, or do you want to hit yours first?
No. Be like, I love the idea that we just burn through our likes with this movie. It's very smooth at this point.
I'll put it to you this way.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the stream recording.
Yeah.
Counting pre-show.
Yeah, we're
44 minutes into this.
Wow,
podcast.
we
really are burning through this.
Yeah. All right. So go into your dislike.
Granted, I know that this is based on a licensed toy.
Yes.
That is got all of its terminology baked into how it was created and everything. So I recognize that you can't really get away from using the word ugly the way they do here.
Right.
For those who don't know, they use ugly here as a synonym for unique. Now, granted, unique dolls does not roll off the tongue, and it's probably not sellable, to be honest.
Yeah, that is true.
But the thing is, I hate the use of the word ugly in this film.
Really?
Because it's meaning unique.
Yeah.
Because the problem is words have meaning.
That is so
and
true.
Ugly is a very derogative term in general to call anybody.
Exactly.
And the other problem I have with and the thing is, they're not quote unquote, hey, that would have problems with your mental outlook if you think, oh, you're ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem is because they're using ugly for unique, that makes anyone else think that if they're unique, they are ugly.
Yeah.
But they're not. In fact, if you look at the logic of the way this is set up, all of the pretty dolls are more ugly than the actual ugly dolls, if you think about it.
That is
because none of them, except for Lou, look like Lou. They're all different.
Yeah.
They're more off model than the actual quote unquote ugly dolls. Which I have a problem with calling them ugly because they look to be very much based on how they were. Of course, they're based off the characters for the actual toy line.
Yeah.
I get that. But these don't really look like factory rejects because I'm not seeing any missing threads. I'm not seeing stuffing coming out in weird points.
Yeah.
They're being called factory rejects because you don't even see the arms or the legs being too far up or down on. I can understand maybe not showing that for your main cast that are based on actual dolls.
Yeah.
But all your background characters, you should be having a lot more crazy, weird stuff going on that would give you better ideas to why these are rejects.
Yeah.
But instead, they're just going, oh, you're all different. You're all unique. We're going to call that ugly.
Yeah.
Because we're using ugly as a synonym for unique.
Yeah. It doesn't work.
And I just can't get behind this because I fear using the word that way, you're going to cause more trouble than if you would have just come up with a better word for it. If they'd have made up a word that they had to explain, it would have been better overall than using the word ugly.
Yeah.
Because honestly, by definition of the word ugly, none of these dolls are ugly.
No, it's not.
None of them. They're all very adorable and cutely designed, which is the exact opposite of ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know part of that is built from the fact that that's the name from the toy line.
Yeah.
Someone jokes and says, oh, these are ugly. And bear in mind, I'm also thinking back to like Ant-Man where his Paul Rudd's daughter, I can't think of her name, Cassie. She gets that doll. She says, oh, it's so ugly. I love it. I actually went back and looked to see if they happened to be an ugly doll. It's not.
Okay.
I would have liked it if it was, but because that would have been funny to me. But it's like, even that looks like it was well designed. So it's like, they're not ugly. There's not a character in this movie that is ugly, which means the title is a lie, which means the toy line is a lie, which is false advertising.
Agreed.
That is my opinion. I do not like the name of this toy line.
Yeah, I agree with you. My first
and it causes more trouble than it's worth.
Agreed. And my first dislike goes directly into yours with the title of the movie being Ugly Dolls, and your main characters are rejects, and you're calling them ugly. Yeah. Your town is called Uglyville, and yet there's
not an ugly
doll.
There's not
an ugly doll in sight. Like heck, if
as an adjective and noun, there's not one. Now they're all technically ugly dolls, but that's just because that's what that brand is called.
yeah, exactly. And it's more be like if I had a child and I saw these on shelves and be like, oh heck yeah, these look great. They're great designs and be like all these amazing different shaped characters. Oh yeah. But it's just the general idea of calling these characters ugly and implying that if you're not perfect, you're ugly. And it's just be like that there again, that kind of it drives a wedge in me when because you have there's people that are considered perfect. I mean, like, oh, they're models.
Yeah.
Oh, they're they're so and so whatever. And so the rest of us muggles are not that, so we're considered ugly. I know it's kind of a stretch. It's kind of a stretch by our modern world. Be like if you're not this, you're ugly. Because society, definitely you're dealing with teenagers, definitely you're dealing with kids. That the idea that like, oh, because you have a zit, oh, you're a larger frame person or something like that. Oh, you're just considered ugly. Be like, no one likes you, and you base your movie, your title of your movie is Ugly Dolls, and all your characters are dolls that kids are going to want to buy.
Yeah.
And
you're almost gaslighting kids in mass by saying that these ugly things are this is what word ugly means, cute and adorable.
Yeah, cute and adorable.
You're gaslighting an entire generation of people.
Thank you. It's just the like it's false advertising, and it's just terrible. It's the title there again, like Drew said, they could have came up with like a completely different name for this, and like you could have got Uglyville, and the idea, but like no, we're not ugly, we're new characters, and not trying to imply that.
Heck, Uglyville doesn't even clash with anything in itself.
No, it doesn't.
It goes against the entire definition of the word ugly.
That is true.
Ugly is the opposite of pretty.
Yeah.
Cute is considered a part of pretty in general. And all these dolls, even the human dolls, are cute.
Yeah.
By definition, they are not ugly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they are not.
Exactly. And the fact to be like our one doll character that has sympathy for our ugly dolls, be like she's not perfect because she wears glasses. Hello. Yeah. Like I wear glasses. Most of my friends wear glasses.
I wear contacts. Not because I don't like glasses, but because for the convenience of being not having to wear glasses.
Exactly. And so that brings up more problems with saying that, oh, because you wear glasses or your eyesight's different. Heck, I bark like a dog. I have Tourette's disorder. I bark like a dog. Does that make me ugly? No, because God created me this way. So
also an interesting note, most of the quote unquote pretties, with the exception of our main character, did you notice they're all white? There might have been one or two other minor differences, but the only one that looked like it was seriously a different color was the one that was sided with our heroes most of the time, and she was more of a mulatto African descent.
Exactly.
So I don't know what they're trying to say with that either. It's like they're cutting themselves off by going to all this trouble. I don't know,
but it's
weird.
The simple fact, like you have characters who are generally cute and adorable. You want your kids to have this character because it's cool and interesting, and you're calling them ugly dolls. Be like, I understand from a
makes
brand,
no sense.
It makes no sense. It literally
even
makes
from
no
a branding, this makes no sense unless it's weird.
Be like, I can understand, but like if Todd McFarlane created an Ugly Dolls line, oh yeah, that'd be ugly and grotesque. Like that's Ugly Dolls.
Yeah,
this isn't.
You've heard it officially here from us, folks. Spawn is ugly.
Like no,
if we didn't know.
It's like no, be like if you've ever looked at anything like the weird bizarre things Todd McFarlane has ever created, oh man, that'd be an ugly doll. And it probably sell like hotcakes.
Yeah. But still, this is as close to bubblegum pop cute on all the characters.
Yeah, exactly.
As humanly possible without and yet they're calling them ugly dolls. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
You want to go I mean those Lala Loopsy dolls are uglier than this, and that's mostly because they scare me out of my ever living mind because I watched Coraline.
So true.
But anyway,
So true. All right. So what is your second dislike?
my second dislike,
Just rip into it. Rip this doll in half.
the toy secretly being alive when no one is looking at it trope.
Oh, yeah.
When Toy Story 1 did it, and Toy Story as a franchise gets a pass on this because they did it first.
Yeah.
Well, not first. There might have been a couple others, but they are the ones who that really popularized the trope. So they get a pass on all their movies.
Oh, yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph gets a pass because it's actually an interesting thing. This is like the scary thing about this. I have threatened you with a movie.
Yes.
That I have described as Toy Story for food brands.
Yeah.
This reminded me of that movie.
Oh,
now it's better than that movie because that movie was not finished.
That's what I keep hearing.
But this one is like, you look at it and you go, there's a lot of logic here that doesn't make sense because they're both in the factory, but they're in this world.
Yeah. Transport to a different world or something like that.
It's like they're existing in like two worlds at once, but yet nobody in this entire factory has found Uglyville, wherever it's sitting. Where is it? At the behind the dumpster where no one can see it?
Yeah.
Because the dumpster's not, there's a gap between the dumpster and the shipping bay or something.
Maybe.
Especially when you got that whale doll out there in the middle of everything. That thing was huge.
Yeah.
Or as an octopus, not a whale.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah. So how to be like everything came through that pipe, right?
Yeah. How did that thing get through?
Exactly. Did Lou just start taking just poking it through it and finally came through?
Many logistical issues tied with the fact that they are actually still dolls, but they live in their own world.
Yeah.
But yet their goal is to make it to the human world. But then technically we saw them in the human world while they were in the factory.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And where is this institute? What is the Institute of Perfection supposed to be? The programming of the computer chips in the Pretty Dolls? Not that we know that they have any sort of talking thing in there whatsoever.
Yeah, it's more to train dolls how to be a doll. Which wouldn't that be more
like,
instinctual? Be a doll? Did Woody have to go through this?
I was about to say that is so natural for Toy Story that Buzz Lightyear does it, despite the fact he thinks he's a space ranger.
You are a toy.
You are a doll. And also, what is the gauntlet supposed to be?
Yeah,
is it the testing to make sure? Is it the quality control thing, which is the thing that makes the most sense to me?
Yeah,
but then where are all these robots and electronic baby thing? Especially since I'm almost every. I work in a factory, not for toys, granted, but I do work in a factory. There is nothing in my mind that fits in. It would make more sense for that. And don't get me wrong, I like the fact that their housing is the boxes they're going to be shipped out in.
Yeah,
that was well thought out.
It's a good design, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like there is a lot of imagination put in this that doesn't follow logic of how because this does not feel like it's in the factory, or the factory is just a mystical place that no humans work in.
Yeah,
which I guess is what China wants. But anyway, maybe not China specifically. It's what we as a marketing people want because it's cheaper to have completely automated factory lines.
Right.
Not trying to get into politics with that, but is a lot of that doesn't make sense. Plus, here's the other problem. The Pretties are doll number 12, which makes sense. So they're the 12th type of doll being made at this factory, which makes all the other dolls that we see here have to have at least at some point been a part of lines 1 through 11. Right. Possibly there's even more of the 13 through who knows how many.
Right.
If the ugly dolls are being rejected for slight deformities that don't even look like deformities to us.
Yeah.
And the Pretty Dolls are able just to have whatever hair color and
exactly.
That's like that's not how these toys are made, because you've got like you've got dolls. If you got a line, made of one type of doll, like say the Lou model,
Yeah.
you would have Lou after Lou after Lou after Lou after Lou, unless there's a mistake, and then that one would get rejected, but it would still look like it was supposed to be Lou.
Yeah, because you would have different
Lou
variations of the
would
same
not turn
dolls.
into Monica, would not turn into Charlie, would not turn into Saturday or Mandy or
Mhm.
anything else, just because they went through a customizing machine.
Yeah. That is weird because like the first time we actually meet the dolls is
They,
when
they
the
look
ugly
like how you
dolls,
expect it. They
they-
all look the same.
they look like mannequins.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that part made sense. But then it went through this magic customization machine.
Yeah.
It's like, good night. That's like every factor. That's like every engineer's best dream. Because then it's like, oh, you can have hundreds of different varieties. And I just got to go through this magic machine that automatically, poof, this one's this thing, and this one's a girl. This one's got glasses. This one doesn't. Actually, they wouldn't have glasses because that's not pretty.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
And here's the other thing: they're making all these decisions at the very end, how they're merging the stuff, and it's all and having this portal that will go to the big world where everyone can be imperfect. What does this look like to the factory workers in the real world?
I have no idea.
It's like, and they come back. That's the thing. They come back to it. They come back to the factory because that's where Imperfect City or whatever it was called is.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's got to be confused.
Yeah.
In the productions, there's a lot of shipping going on that's causing a lot of work. Especially, I'm assuming said factory is in China, just because a lot of stuff is made in China.
Right.
And I'm assuming that Moxie's girl is in America because it's on the other side of the world for this example. How far does Moxie have to commute?
Yeah.
To get back and forth between Uglyville and her kid?
And also the fact that they're worried she's not going to come back.
Yes, but she comes back like made it sound like it was regularly.
Yeah.
And I was like,
this is weird.
It's
It's okay. You have this. You have best of both worlds. Be like you do hang out with your friends.
And the thing
but
is,
you get your dream of getting to do what you want, but you have to come back at night. What if your kid wakes up in the middle of the night? Their doll's gone.
They didn't say it had to come back at night. They could come back if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But still, it was like,
but
there's
it's
a lot of
they come back.
This is a lot of logic here that does not follow.
No, it doesn't.
Because this is also supposed to be taking place in a factory, I assume, in our world.
Yeah.
There's nothing that says this exists in an imaginary world, even though it looks like it does.
Yeah.
But
it is.
There's
cartoon.
a lot of stuff here that's like, just you're just supposed to accept and move on. And normally I would say this is a nitpick, but I think it's actually more an example of poor world building.
Yeah,
to be honest. So yeah, that's my second
Uh,
dislike. I kind of ranted on that for a little long.
It's all good. So my second dislike would definitely there's so much plot convenience in this movie. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, where you have our main character is literally just like, it's like, oh, I'm going to go to the real world. I'm going to go here because we're promoting, that be like, oh, you can be the doll of your child's dream or whatever. One of those, I said it wrong, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But there's so much to the point where it's just like they just conveniently find this. They know where the pipe is. Be like, logically, there's no Earth you can get up there. No Earth, but just happen circumstance they can get up there, even though no one else has ever thought of the idea of going up that pipe.
True.
And there's the one scene that just makes no sense to me whatsoever. And there's a lot of scenes in this movie that no sense. The scene in which our main character, not Moxie, but what's the main character's name?
Moxie.
Thank you.
Moxie is the pink one.
Yeah, Moxie.
Mandy was her pretty friend.
Yeah, Moxie and Mandy are thrown into the shredder or thrown into the incinerator, whatever that thing is.
And a rip off of the incinerator from Toy Story 3. That's what it is.
Exactly what it is. Like I finally watched the movie a couple of years ago. But like, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
The fourth one, not so much. It's okay.
I have issues.
We'll
get there when we get there.
So, so Moxie and Mandy are in the incinerator, shredder, whatever it is, and just conveniently, like all the other ugly dolls rally together to somehow get themselves through the hoop, know where they are, except for like the Blake Shelton's character.
Yes. The only one that actually does look like it's actually a factory defect, I might add.
Yeah, he's got
a missing eye.
Yeah, he's got a missing eye, which is a good design.
Yeah.
So it's just more conveniently be like they show up. Be like, well, in Toy Story 3, they played it very well. It was more like, oh, okay, so this is when this comes in, and this one comes in. It was just more like they just pop out of nowhere. It's like it's not be like we get an inkling they're coming or not, but it's just so convenient. And the fact that another convenience and the like just when Moxie and Mandy are pulled out of the pipe, it shuts down. Why would it shut down? That makes no sense. And just like throughout the entire film, there's so much convenience going on of like it's like, oh, they're able to get into because Lou knows where everything is, and obviously he would know where things are. It's just like so much just convenience.
Yeah,
just like almost lazy writing in a way. Like might no, I mean
lazy writing would not surprise me on this movie.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just plot convenience. There's so much plot convenience. Well,
yeah,
most movies be like you're gonna have some plot convenience somewhere at some point in a movie. But this movie, oh my gosh, all over the place, just plot convenience. Oh, the character is able to do this. Oh, here's I'll be like, I'll get to my third in a few minutes when you're done with yours. So what's your second?
This movie feels like it could have been a straight to DVD Barbie / Bratz movie.
Oh, yeah, very easy.
Because I mean, this is such a thin this is a pencil thin plot.
It is.
I could have sworn I've seen some of the animation tricks they do in this on like commercials for those kind of movies. Except this has a lot more money put into it so that because it was going to be on the big screen.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of thought, I think, put into the movie. It looks like it was designed to be made for a quick buck and then move on.
Yeah.
And that annoys me to an nth degree. I understand that sometimes that's all a movie is going to be is just a quick money grab and move on. And sometimes that will still work. But this, it just feels like we made it, we put it out. There's nothing technically wrong with the film. It's done.
Yeah.
And we've made our money. That's really what it feels like.
Yeah. Or in this case, you lost a ton of money.
Well, somebody made money somewhere.
Someone made a ton of money making this movie.
Probably the people who own the Ugly Dolls brand.
Probably.
But c'est la vie.
Exactly.
It's a cheap movie.
Mm, it is cheap. It is very cheap.
In terms of writing and story. Not much thought was put into that.
Agreed.
You spent more money, I'm convinced, on the actors than you did on the writing.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Proportionally. I mean, technically, I think most of the time your actors do cost more than your writing staff. But it feels like more thought was put into who can we get, what stunt casting can we do to get people's butts in seats instead of why don't we make a well-written movie?
Yeah. And then hire good, not saying these voice actors are bad. I'm not saying that.
No, I thought all the voice actors did a fairly decent job with the material they were given.
Yeah.
But you can just tell a lot of them were hired not because of a tryout, but because it's like some producer in a board meeting said, hey, who would be good to play Moxie? Oh, how about, and they said Carrie Underwood. That is not who played her.
Kelly Clarkson.
She's popular.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do we get to play Bobo? Oh, he seems like a fun-loving, puffy kind of guy. Oh, Puffy. We'll get Gabriel Iglesias. He sounds good. Who do we get to play the angry cook? Oh, we'll get the actress we always hire to play angry characters, Wanda Sykes. It's really how it felt.
Yeah, I agree.
Feels like it doesn't feel like much. It's like they didn't. I admit, not everything has to be auditioned for.
Yeah.
If you know this person is good for this role.
Yeah.
But it's like almost all these people are playing the same characters they always play.
Yeah, agreed.
So it's like, yeah, they're not playing. And Kelly Clarkson is not playing Moxie. She's playing Kelly Clarkson, who happens to be voicing a character named Moxie. Mm-hmm. That's how it really feels like. But anyway.
So my third dislike is this movie is portraying so much of be yourself. Don't care what the world thinks.
Make your own truth.
Make your own
They
truth.
literally say that sentence in this movie.
They do, which is stupid. Like one, you'd be like your truth. Be like, yeah, there's a famous phrase by Adam Savage. Be like, what was it again?
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Yeah.
Problem is, we live in reality.
Exactly. So this gets a little more spicy when it comes to this idea that be like, oh, you can live your own truth. Well, the only problem is you live in reality.
Yeah.
Be like, truth is grounded in truth. If that's a biblical truth or reality.
Well, here's the problem with this. Not to jump on top of you.
No, go ahead.
If they would have, if it had been not find your own truth, but find out who you are.
Yeah.
I would be much more fine with this.
Yeah.
Because like I said, words have meaning.
Yeah.
There is only one truth. By definition.
Yeah.
You should find out what that truth is.
That is true.
And I know what I know the truth to be. I know some people would disagree, but delusional people are delusional.
And plus people have their right to their own opinion.
Exactly. But you should not, it's not about finding your truth. It's finding out who you really are and not the lies you tell yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the lies they told them, the pretties told themselves, was that we're perfect and those other dolls are not.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was wrong.
And plus, be like, you can apply that to racism and the whole bit.
Yeah.
Be like, it's because they're not good enough. It's like, well,
Yeah,
have you
this
tried to
thing is-
talk to those people?
Yeah, because that's the thing about this movie. The entire movie is about accepting people for who they are, not even no matter what their differences are. That's why all these characters show uniqueness to them.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
the race of dolls that all look relatively the same have different uniquenesses to them.
Exactly.
Uniqueness isn't bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Hatred of uniqueness is bad.
Exactly. So yeah,
But that doesn't mean they're ugly.
yeah, it's just what the heck. So with all that,
Find out who you are and live who you are.
yeah, don't
And I
believe
don't mean
everything-
what everyone says you are. Deep down, you know the truth about yourself, even if you don't know the truth about yourself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, don't believe the lies in your own head.
Don't believe the lies. Figure out who you really are
Yeah,
and go with that.
Yeah.
That's really what this movie should have been about, not find your own truth. What if the truth you find is actually a lie and you don't know it?
yeah, exactly. So you've been living a lie.
Yeah.
And don't go by your
so many people in this world do.
yeah. Don't go by your emotions. Your emotions will betray you. Your emotions
Guard
change
your heart. Do not follow your heart because it will mislead you.
Exactly.
But anyway, we're getting off topic to
And
some degree.
Plus, the heart is fickle. Let's say
Yes,
that.
and it loves idols.
It does love idols, and the world
And-
just
and
loves
by that-
when we screw it up.
And by idols, I do not mean the people who are jumping up and down the stage, unless you are literally worshiping them.
Exactly. So one of the mind-blowing contrasts to this film. So this idea of find your own truth, you'll be like you're unique, you're different, blah 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 blah. So when Mandy comes to the Ugly Dolls, be like, oh, we can do this, we can make you look pretty. I'm like, what the heck? Because
It's after when the first couple lyrics of that song is like, I think you're good just the way you are, but if you still want to change, we'll doll you up. We all dolled up.
Yeah,
It's
we're
like,
all dolled up. It's like, what the frack are you doing?
it's like you're enabling. That's what you're doing. You're enabling.
Yeah, because it's literally the entire movie. Somebody like, oh, be yourself, live your truth, whatever. But no, be like, oh, you got to conform to everything that's going on in the world, which the world does all the time. And so we have this entire montage of very poorly, no backgrounds whatsoever, which all this musical in this movie, except for a few of them, have no backgrounds whatsoever. And the characters are literally floating in midair because they were lazy and didn't want to do anything with this. It's just more the entire time. Be like, we're going to doll you up. We're going to make you look beautiful. With the entire time the movie's saying, be yourself kind of movie.
Yeah.
And it's
Because
just like
here's the thing.
stupid contrast.
And here's the thing. When are our characters the most like the title ugly?
yeah.
When are they the most not the way they're supposed to be. When they're dolled up,
Exactly.
trying to be like everybody else. That's not the point of the movie. The movie knows that's not the point. The point is be yourself.
Yeah, be yourself.
Be yourself. And they even show you why, when you're trying to be like everybody else, why that doesn't work. Because I mean, the other dolls in the pretties uniforms just don't look good at all.
Exactly.
But then they go and ruin it at the end, saying, "Oh, find your own truth." No, there's only one truth. There's not multiple truths.
You don't get multiple choices than this.
Yes.
Like the world is simply going to say, be yourself, find your own truth, and be like, there's the logic disconnect with that makes no sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway,
so, either way, getting off our soapbox with that.
We have reached the end of this movie.
Yeah, you haven't got your third yet.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. Okay.
Yeah, because remember, I was going first.
That's right.
On the dislikes.
That's right.
I changed it up.
That's right.
We reached the end of the movie. We need to rate the thing.
Yeah.
What are you rating it, Jacob?
I don't know. You go first.
Oh, you would do that too.
Yes, I would.
I'm giving it a 5.
Okay.
The only reason this is getting any points from me is how good the animation is.
I would agree with you. Yeah.
Which it is actually very good animation for what it is. Where it's losing points is the utter stupidity of the story.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Oh my god!
And even the actors, for what they get, do a good job. It's just this story is nonsensical.
Yeah,
for what it is, it doesn't even. We're not going to get into that. It's just, it's a 5.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll definitely. I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5. It's one of those run of the mill movies. It's a popcorn muncher that
I don't even know if it's a popcorn muncher. This is a spend a week in theaters and then disappear.
That is true. But be like, let's like if you were to watch the movie, be like, it's more for the animation style of the movie and enjoying the context of what's going on in the movie when it comes to animation, because there is a lot of really good animation in this film. There really is. Just the story itself is just like, what in the world? And then it contrasts, it goes against the grain of what it's trying to tell you. And it's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a heaping pile of mess that instead of going to, Uglyville or going to perfection, it should have went in the dumpster. And they could have done a whole lot better with the storytelling, but they didn't, because they're just trying to get that money, and they failed miserably.
They couldn't even make the movie funny.
No, they couldn't.
There's a couple funny moments, but this is nothing to write home about.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway,
yeah,
that brings us to the end of the episode. Our next episode
is going to be a whole lot better.
Is Onward.
Yes.
You know what's interesting about Onward?
What's that?
It was our last reaction before COVID.
That is true.
In fact, literally, we didn't know if we were even going to get to see the movie in the theater, because literally the week after, the Saturday after is like, yep, the theater's closed, everything's down. Yeah. It's like, well, that's a shame.
Yeah, that's true.
But we are going to be reviewing Onward next. Our trivia question for that, and I will actually post this today.
Good deal.
If not in the next couple of minutes. What monsters from Dungeons and Dragons appear in this movie?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, this is going to be interesting, going from ugly dolls, which we just
to ugly monsters,
to ugly monsters, to fantasy monsters.
Exactly. Real monsters.
Real monsters.
Real monsters. Wait, that's a different show.
Yes, it's definitely different.
Anyway,
yeah.
That brings us to the end. Anything else to add before we cut this thing loose?
It's an imperfect lie.
Most lies are imperfect, but moving on. In the meantime, then, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame. Oh, come on!
Oh, did he do it again?
Yes, I know how to fix it.
Oh, okay. Come on. Go live. Go live. There we go.
Follow Jacob on his Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. His Facebook page, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where he tries to draw each and every day. His Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. His Twitter at Jacob Heron. And his Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. You can find Drew on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. His Facebook page, Drew's Photobin, to see his photography. His Letterboxd page at GGeorge759. His Twitter at GGeorge759. And Instagram at Drew Dodgen. You can like us on Facebook at the Cellcast Podcast. On Twitch at the Cellcast Gaming. On YouTube at Cellcast. On Twitter at cast_cell. The Cellcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts are downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us, and also on Podchaser. Email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. The Cellcast is a proud member of both the Pop Americana and Culture Box media networks. For more information, please see the link in the description. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
Ugly, you're ugly. No, I'm ugly. No, we're all cute. I'm confused about this film.
Okay, now hush. Okay, now cut. That's the end of the episode. Nico, his last name is Heron, as in the bird, not herring the fish.
Yeah, exactly. Herons catch fish.
And they are fish.
They are fish. Heron.
Herons catch herrings.
Yeah, herrings.
Anyways, thank you for coming in at the very last minute there, Nico.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Nico.
we don't like this movie.
There's interesting parts to it, definitely animation, but overall, no.
Yeah, I'll get the episode out later today. So keep an eye out for that.
I'll get the art over to Drew when I get back to the apartment and
finish it.
Furiously work on that.
Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, no worries. I've got new pencils and all that.
I saw that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we'll see y'all guys later.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.